After the surprising results in last week's elections, the word of the week is affordability. President Trump has floated two specific ideas he says will help people's pocketbooks. He said the government will send $2,000 tariff rebate checks to most Americans, and for prospective homeowners, he's looking at the option of 50-year mortgages. So, Rick, will these proposals, if they're implemented, be effective?
Well, let's first say that, Donald Trump is, again, talking out of both sides of his mouth. On the one hand, he's saying with respect to affordability, quote, I think the polls are fake. We have the strongest economy we've ever had, unquote. Well, it doesn't appear, as you said, that voters in Virginia and New Jersey agreed with him. And again, if the economy is so strong, why is he putting so much pressure on the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates? I mean, lower interest rates are what you do when you have an economy that's stagnating. With respect to the specific things that he's doing to try to deal with affordability, I don't think they are very effective. First of all, the $2,000 check will never happen. The $2,000 per taxpayer would exceed all of the money that is projected to be collected under the tariffs in the next year.
Okay, so if it's $1,500 or $1,000, would that help?
It will put $1,500 into people's pockets, but again, if the economy is strong, that's the wrong thing to do because that would just lead to more inflation.
But what we know about the economy, really, despite him saying it's strong, is that it's been slowing. So wouldn't that just juice it? I mean, prime the pump?
Well, if that's what we're looking to do, I think that some of the other programs that you're looking at are actually even worse. So I don't think the Trump tariff cut is going to happen.
Nina?
Yeah, well, I would agree with you that he has been pressuring the Federal Reserve, but he has been doing that since day one of his administration. And his argument has been that would be one way to sort of gin up the economy. But I agree with you that there is some mixed messaging that's coming out of the White House. On the one hand, the things you said, calling it fake news, that so many people, upwards to 80%, are saying the economy is a problem, calling it a con job on the part of Democrats. But on the other hand, he is taking these steps, and he's done so since he's been in office, even beforehand, by sort of these, gimmicky moves of putting on the McDonald's uniform and the making wages non-taxable. The problem for the president from a political standpoint is that all of these other things are sucking the air out of whatever he's trying to do. And even these more recent messages, the tariff wars that he has started, the immigration raids, the exacting retribution on his political enemies, and so on, all of those things are drowning out whatever message he might have started with. Because remember, when he campaigned, he said he would lower prices on day one. And he's doing these things to sort of signal he's aware, but at the same time saying there isn't a problem.
So, Anirban, the Bill Pulte, the head of the Federal Housing Agency, Housing Finance Agency, said that a 50-year mortgage will be a game changer.
Yeah, see, I did the calculation on the 50-year mortgage. It's quite ridiculous. I don't know who in their right mind is going to take that mortgage. And second of all, nobody is going to fight over grandmother's will anymore because, there'll be so much debt left over. So let's do the calculation. If you take a $300,000 house and make a 20% down payment, in the 50-year mortgage, you are looking at a monthly payment of $1,600. At a 30-year loan, you are looking at a monthly payment of $1,400. But the interest paid on the 50-year loan is $518,000, whereas the interest paid on the 30-year loan is about $200,000. So this is a massive levels of interest. And the EMI is not that much, so I don't know why people would do this. Now, to our colleague's point,
well, they'll do it. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
I mean, maybe those lower costs for some people will make a difference. That can get them into a house. Tara?
And that's if this really comes to fruition, that's part of the allure of it, is people who maybe couldn't afford a 30-year mortgage might be able to afford that 50-year mortgage. And in our American ethos of every, person being able or family being able to have their own home, many people will be sucked into that. They won't do the calculation or certainly won't pay attention. We all know how it goes during that whole housing process. they may not really pay attention to, okay, as you say, the interest I'm going to pay is going to be much more than I really would have wanted to pay if I'd taken that 30-year loan.
But the problem is, as we've talked about on the show many times, the problem is the supply of housing, not the demand for housing. And all this is going to do is increase the demand for housing, which will push up housing prices even more. This is not a solution to the fact that many Americans think housing is not affordable.
No, and like generally in a market economy, people do blame the president for price rises, but the president generally has not much to do. But except in this case, because of Trump's tariffs, because of this kind of chaotic situation that we have in the United States, going after your adversaries and so on, this reduces business confidence, this reduces consumer confidence. And those are bedrock principles of actually a good functioning economy. Once that trust goes away, people pull back on their expenditure, people pull back on investment, and as a result, or people wait that, these tariffs are moving up and down, sideways all the time, what will happen? So because of that, I think the economy is in a slowdown, and we can see kind of a stagflationary effect, people like losing of jobs, leaching of jobs every week. So that has been something that the president actively created, that situation. So I'm not very sure how we are going to walk out through this, especially after this massive tax cut that he provided during a time when the economy was doing quite all right.
Well, the tax cut, and there was a cut there, and now if there are these rebate checks, although you don't think that's going to happen, if they are given, doesn't that sort of offset that? That's stimulating.
Yeah, it offsets to what extent? Like it is not like $2,000 to people's paychecks would not do much to where the businesses are not hiring.
But I mean, you're cutting. Okay.
You can give people would be happy to take that money, but that would not change the ground realities. I agree with Rick on this.
It won't change the ground realities, but at the risk of repeating what you just said, Anirban, I share your sentiments that there's only so much that government can do in a capitalist society. And right now we are experiencing the lowest consumer confidence measures ever. And so if the president can find a way to stop undermining consumer confidence, then perhaps there will be greater incentive.
Putting $2,000 in people's pocket is not going to do it. The Fed is already not going to, I think, decrease interest rates in December.